Today, I have a day off work, and so I thought I would bring you along with me. I am in our new apartment, and it is amazing. It is slowly coming together. We just recently went from having our clothes everywhere on the ground, our things a little bit all over, to getting a kitchen table, some chairs. We got the desk here, and things are slowly coming together. For today, I really want to just tidy up a little bit. We had like a hectic morning as Zach is at work right now. Ever since I started my new job, I am sitting a lot more and I'm just kind of walking like short distances back and forth. So I want to go for a long walk. It is snowing outside. I don't know if you can tell right now, probably not, but it is snowing outside, which is rare because we don't really get like that much snow here. And then I have to plan some groceries for this week to make sure that I have more snacks. We already did like a huge grocery shop and we're already like halfway through all the food that we bought. I don't know if that happens to anyone else where you just eat a lot and then you end up going faster than what you had planned. So we have to go back, get some good snacks, things to make snacks for the rest of the week. I've been trying really hard to eat meals recently that are all for balancing my blood sugar. So what that looks like is like a protein with a good fat and a lower amount of carbohydrates depending on what I'm going to be doing next. If it's something with a lot of activity, I'm going to eat more carbs. But if I'm just kind of sitting around on my computer or at work, I'm not going to eat that many carbs. But today, I got myself a muffin and I'm drinking a coffee this morning. So I kind of just like said, fuck that. So I'm going to heat myself up a muffin and we're going to start tidying up this place. As I start to clean up, I wanted to give a couple of tips, or like, I guess you could say life advice that I've been just reflecting on these past couple days. And if you don't know, I mean, some of my older videos show this, but I used to live in a van with my now fiance, Zach. And during that time when we were living in a van, we came out to BC and we stayed here for quite a while. Before returning back to the East Coast. And when we left, it was really heartbreaking because we knew that we didn't fully want to leave, but we had to leave for other reasons and we wanted to come back. But we left it at that. We didn't specify it any more than that. Basically, time went on and we got into the flow of living back east, but we knew that something wasn't right. Something didn't fit with us being there. And we wanted a change. The idea of coming back out here was in our heads. We had no idea how we were gonna make it happen. At the time, it was like so far-fetched fantasy ideal, but we were like, let's just put that in the air and see what happens. By having a goal that we were somewhat detached from slowly led us to the life circumstances that allowed us to get here. And so that's kind of where my first tip is going, is learning how to follow your intuition. And this is also super important for my ladies out there because us women, we're magical, first of all. And second of all, we have this power called intuition, your gut feeling, that just certain voice inside of you that says you should do something and there's no logical reason to explain it. That is your intuition. And the vast majority of us are taught to ignore this feeling. Like I said before, it is not logical, but something that makes sense in your life is not going to be logical in everyone else's life because we're all unique and on different unique paths. Oh, that's the oven. My muffin's ready. Ever since we've been here, it feels like there's angels over us just making things so smooth, things just fall into place, and showing us how to trust with our entire being. When you don't know what the plan ahead is, but you know that the only thing you have to do is trust, that's where the magic unfolds. Also, pro tip, if you have like extra fruit lying around and you're cleaning up, cut it up, make it really easy to eat and store it away, because if it's half an orange that's unpeeled, you're gonna be less likely to eat it and probably end up wasting it than if you were to just cut it up into tiny little pieces and put it in a Tupperware and keep it in your fridge. Look at it snow! I really hope that you can see. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Yes! I'm just gonna make some quick tea. It's with jujube, red dates, and rose to help. I have a little bit of cramping on this period cycle, so I'm gonna throw in about 4 dates. Give them a good rinse and boil them for about 25 minutes. Welcome to the never-ending pile of laundry that always exists in this active household. I actually don't really mind doing laundry when I'm actually getting down to folding it and putting it away. It's like super relaxing and peaceful, but making the time to do that, I will put that off till the end of time. If you hear any squeaking or like creaking in the background, that's because I'm kneeling on our air mattress. We've been sleeping on an air mattress ever since we moved here, and we're going to be sleeping on an air mattress for the next couple weeks because our bed doesn't come in until another 4 weeks, I think. So that's really great. In all seriousness, it's really not that bad. It's just that this air mattress has like not holes, but like little divots in it all across. So you feel kind of like you're sleeping on a waterbed at certain times of the night. It all just adds to the fun, the lore of moving out here. Another huge thing in my life recently, I'm gonna get down on my knees here because I'm a little bit too tall for the bed. The really big theme in my life right now, I would say to sum it up in one word, would be trust. And that's in every single sphere of my life. And I just chatted to you about trust and just like trusting the unknown plan and choosing to believe that it's all going to end up working out for you and that you have angels, guides, the universe, God, whoever you'd like to call, looking after you, and you're not doing this alone. Because in my reality, I choose to believe that I'm not doing this alone. This human life is not made to be done alone. Whether you have community or whether you feel like you have absolutely no community right now, just know that there are other beings, other energies that are out there and looking out after you, because you are much more than just your physical body, but that's a conversation for another day, okay? This idea of intuition and trust came up recently. I ended up like falling upon a book at the thrift store, actually, which the thrift store here is just the most amazing thing. I don't think I've ever been to a thrift store that tops it. But it's also a very divine and magical place because all the right things fall into your hands at the exact right time. I fell upon a book about your fertility, your cycle, and like getting to know your woman's health. I am super interested in all of that, and I have been for the past couple of years due to a couple like health problems that have come up, but I never devoted myself really to like, you know, diving in head first. I just kind of like minimally kept myself up to date on the things I needed to. But this book was calling to me and it was like $2. So I said, why not? Okay, sorry about that. I had to go change because it is burning hot in this room. As I was saying, recently I've been hearing some whispers from my body, some little signs that I needed to be more aware, be more in tune, be more connected to whatever was going on. And I found this book, and it happened to lead me exactly to what I believe has been going on. And a big part of it is talking about balancing your blood sugar as a way to attack hormonal imbalances. And of course, it's a full-on book, so don't just take one or two of my words. Read the book. It's called Woman Code, and I forget who it's by. Since I was in this place of like hearing those whispers, reading this book, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and give this all a try. As I was saying earlier about the meals that I've been trying to eat recently have all been in an effort to keep a stable blood sugar. And one of the craziest things is that I love coffee. Like, I love coffee. And I think it's like just much more a mental thing. And also because I really lack energy throughout the day. Like I feel pretty tired normally. And ever since I started eating more intentionally and knowing actually what's going in my body, I just haven't even had the desire to drink coffee some days. I notice how it impacts my body and how it makes me like a lot more anxious, and I can feel it spike. I guess spike would be the good word, like my nervous system. It makes me feel like there's danger because it speeds everything up. And before I would just confuse that for like, oh, I'm feeling like energized and motivated. Let's go train, let's go run, let's go whatever. And then I would feel 2 times as tired after. Which now that I'm saying that out loud, it makes so much sense, and it's crazy that I didn't realize that sooner, but sometimes you just need to go through it to really have that embodied understanding of what's going on. That is a huge tangent way of saying that this book and this experience has brought so much awareness to how I fuel my body on the day-to-day. And literally, you are what you eat. Like, these are all gonna sound like cliches, the next things I'm gonna say, but it is just so crazy that once you, maybe if you have a problem and you have to work through it, or whatever it may be, a life circumstance that brings your awareness to the reason why these cliches become cliches. Like, you are what you eat. Even if you eat, let's say 75% of the time, like really well, if you're always reaching for like at the end of the night, some sort of like candy or ice cream and stuff like this, like it's going to add up over time. And I say that because that's what I would do. I would eat like really good meals, but it's what I would do in the in-between that would cause my blood sugar to go haywire and crazy and give me all these weird symptoms that I didn't know were adding up to like these bigger problems that now are like much bigger because I didn't take care at a very minimal level. So I guess the next tip that I'm realizing as I get older and as I've gone through so much change is that consistency is key. Again, sounds like a huge cliche, but it is so true. Whatever you're going through, if you're trying to heal something, going on a healing journey, a fitness journey, a like manifestation process, like anything that you're trying to go through or bring into fruition, consistency is key. You are going to see so many more results and just a more sustainable journey if you're able to stick with something that is like that is sustainable, that can be consistent, and that you don't feel like you need to like jump out of the routine and like relapse into your old habits. And that's a lot to say because you could break that down into so many subsections, talking about self-sabotage, talking about like the way the brain is, brain retraining, all that stuff. But for me, something that I never truly focused on was the power of consistency. They say that water, just like one drop of water after years and years and years, can actually break a rock in half. And it's true, and that just shows the power of consistency. I forgot that I have tea on the stove. Let's go get that. cold outside, so I'm gonna put on this sweater. So I've just been getting together some snack ideas that I'm gonna go out and grab from the grocery store to really help keep my blood sugar stable. So far, this is what I've come up with. Lunch meat, cheese, roasted chickpeas, roasted cauliflower, celery and nut butter, hummus and carrots, bell pepper, apple and peanut butter, nuts, turkey and cucumber. Maybe I should eat. So let's go do just that.
Yummy!
This entire video is just gonna be me eating. My last and final kind of tip or advice for this video that I feel like goes along with all the other little reflections that I've had recently is about feeling safe in your body and how that impacts your entire life. If we look at this from a bigger picture and then scale it down to a micro level, the reason why I care so much about shaping the way I eat and really honing in on like healing my blood sugar and fixing certain things about my health or about my environment or my life, if you're starting to see how everything is connected already, here's a star for you. It all comes down to a feeling of safety in your body. And we don't realize it on the day-to-day, but our subconscious mind is looking for safety at every single point of your day, of your week, of your month, of your year. Your body is always looking for the things that feel safe. And that's different for every single person. It's based on what you grew up with. It's based on what you were exposed to, the experiences you've had, the way you perceive things. It goes so deep. We all go through traumatic experiences in life. And when I say traumatic, it doesn't even have to be something as traumatic as abuse or a death of a loved one or anything such as that. It could be just something that you individually perceived as traumatic. It could be a conversation with someone that you loved that did not go to plan. It could be a public humiliation, whether it be in middle school. It could even go all the way back to when you were a baby and you have no working memory of this event, but when you were a baby and you were crying for your mom and your mom couldn't come to you, something like this. All those little memories get registered and placed into our body or in our fascia and in our subconscious brain, and that's what founds us. What is the word I'm looking for? It's like the foundation of which we build upon as we grow older and as we mature. Now let me be really clear. Feeling safe in your body is subjective to every single person. And like I said before, it's based on your past experiences. Let's say you grew up in a household where your parents violently fought together. They hit one another, they screamed at the top of their lungs ever since you were a child. Subconsciously, safety is what's familiar to you. So what's familiar to you is explosive fights and like abuse between your parents. So within your lifetime, if you find yourself falling into the same habits or the same cycles or the patterns as our parents, it's often because within the subconscious, that's what feels safe. So of course, that's what we're going to return to. And every single time you try to rewrite the pattern, you try to step out of the box and you try to do something different, it's not labeled as safe within your brain. So you yourself actually stop yourself from walking out of that pattern and doing something different. And it's such a sticky situation to be stuck in, because oftentimes it's a cycle. You know, you'll repeat the pattern of whatever feels safe or familiar. I know you don't label it like that in your brain, but you repeat a pattern that you deem as unfavorable. And then you get upset with yourself because you keep repeating the pattern. To make this a little bit more tangible, I'm going to give an example. Let's talk about scrolling. And this is a whole nother subject, but we'll just use scrolling as the example. So you get home from work and you're like, okay, today I'm going to the gym. Like, I'm going to the gym. I've decided it's been 3 days I haven't gone. I'm going to the gym. And you get home from work and you are just exhausted, depleted. You're like, let me just relax 5 minutes. I'm going to eat a snack and then I'm going to get going. And then you get on your phone and you start scrolling. And you start scrolling. And all of a sudden 15 minutes passes by. 20 minutes pass by. And then maybe you get like the reminder on Instagram that, oh, your time limit is up, if you have that set up. Or maybe you don't. Then you hit like ignore and you keep going. And then next thing you know, you've burned 45 minutes scrolling and you're like, gosh darn it, I just wasted like 45 minutes to an hour on this little rectangle of mine, and I told myself I was going to go to the gym. Then you get upset with yourself, and often the emotions will be anger, shame, frustration. Then you put that on yourself. And then, which, let me know if this happens to you, you put those emotions onto yourself, and then you get up and you're like, I'm going to do something, I'm going to get going to the gym right now, or I'm going to like, you try to have a revenge action to kind of like reverse the disgust that you feel from the action of scrolling that you just completed. And sometimes you might even see that 15 minutes later, you find yourself scrolling again, doing the same thing, because you haven't found the way to break out of the pattern. All that you've done is shame and blame yourself for falling back into it. Can you see how it's like coming from a completely different place energetically? Then let's just re-roll the scene again, and let's go back to like scrolling on the couch after you get home from work, even though you told yourself you're going to the gym. Instead of stepping into the shame and blame game, you realize what's happening, you realize you're scrolling, you take a deep breath and you pause. And you know that anger is like the first place that you want to go, but you take a deep breath and you're like, okay, this is a sign that my body is tired from work. What do I want to do with that information? Do I still go to the gym and I just stretch just to keep the routine going? If depending on how tired I am, do I stay at home, but I put my phone to the side, and instead of scrolling, like read a book or do an activity I've been putting off, or like cook a great meal? It's that pause, and it's that breath, and it's that conscious choice to choose a different reaction to what you're doing. This is the biggest lesson that I feel reflecting on these past couple of weeks has come up for me, and hopefully can help you, is that remembering that the body is always looking for safety. When it comes to those patterns that you fall back into time and time again, instead of continuing the cycle with more hate, blame, anger, and shame, take a pause, take a breath, and break the cycle completely. You have to react with a different emotion. And that's the only way that you're going to move through it. It's all rooted in love, baby. I'll see you later. Good evening. It's time to go to bed. Thank you for listening to this video. I hope you found something useful. And if it's late wherever you are, go to bed too.